The one and only weekly podcast where two fast cousins sit around and discuss the age-old art of storytelling. And at the end, we're going to come up with an original first of an 11-part movie.
Franchise.
I'm your host, Zach, a.k.a. Z-Town TV. That's my co-host slash co-cousin, Devo City. Devin, how are you doing this fine evening? I can already see by your shirt.
I am pumped! Fast and Furious season. It's not the ride, it's the rider. This might be for the ride at Universal. I don't know, but I live my life a quarter mile at a time, and this quarter mile I'm spending here on the podcast, going fast, going furious. I'm doing all right.
That's good. That actually explains a lot about your life. If you really took that saying to heart, that you live your life a quarter mile at a time.
I think that might be my next tattoo.
A lot of your decisions are coming into focus in retrospect now. Just keeping that in perspective. Devin, I have to commend you. First of all, one, excellent job on the last podcast, throwing in all of our posters. Great transition. I personally loved the Loyalist Reckoning little image. What do you call it? Graphic that you did. That was cool. It wasn't expecting it. I was listening on my Spotify in the car, and then I heard it do twice. I'm like, well, what does that mean? And I always like to watch the YouTube video too. I throw up in the background, if you're getting a workout in, or you're doing something else, doing some paperwork, doing a little work from home, you can throw Architects Lore just up on YouTube in the background. Don't worry, you'll be fine. And then I watched it, I was like, what's this second thunderclap going here?
I don't know. What is it?
Ooh, that was pretty exciting. I'm not going to spoil it.
Well, it's the Reckoning, and in the beginning, it's going one way,
spoiled.
and at the end, it's going the other way. Because I got to show off my work. I got to, I don't know if you noticed that it encapsulates.
I did notice that.
Did you see the other Easter egg?
Which one? No.
The picture of our grandfather?
No, I watched it. I didn't see it. Where was it?
What do you mean you didn't watch the episode? This guy doesn't watch episodes.
I wonder if I skipped that part.
It was before the lore list, so...
Was it like right before, or was it while we were talking about it? And I said, go ahead and put up a picture of
Grandpa. Yeah, it was right there.
Was it? Oh, I gotta go back and watch
take
it.
a pause and go watch this real quick.
Hold on a second.
Because...
I can do that pretty easily. I think, because I had already listened to about 40 minutes in Spotify, so I started listening in the beginning. I was like, wait a second, I just want to see what this graphic is, too. So I feel like fast-forwarded through that. And then I watched
through the rest.
You're missing
out on Easter eggs, buddy.
Well, I watched the rest of it because I wanted to see. I knew you were going to throw in all those posters and stuff, so I was like, "There's going to be a lot of graphic heavy stuff."
What are you watching on TV right now? What are you watching on TV? You shut that off during record. What are you watching right now?
I'm literally putting on the last episode.
Oh, I thought you were watching college basketball or something.
No, I'm going.
This guy's been known to throw a Knicks game on in the background.
Zach, you need to pause right now. You gotta go watch. I'm literally doing that. And then
I forgot that you record on your phone. I was just imagining you going to do it on your phone. You read what it said on both of them?
Yes. Wait, no, I only saw the one that... Wait, is there a different one when it was on me?
Yeah.
Yours says, okay, maybe I really do look like Grandma.
Yeah, and then it says something when it goes to you.
You're not smudged. All right. Okay. That was worth it. That's proof right there. I legitimately did not think you were going to do it, and I had already listened to so much of the episode that I wanted to get to the other graphic intensive part, so I just posted for it. That's on me, folks. I'm sorry.
And I didn't do it at the part you said, because, obviously.
That's why you were like, oh, I put it on there. I thought you were trying to do like a late April Fool's joke for me, because it gets that. So we'll throw a picture of Grandpa up. And you didn't do it. I'm like, well, now Devin's trolling me. So... No, it comes up. If you want to know what our grandfather looks like, you go to episode 4.13, right around 3 minutes and 35 seconds in. You'll see that Devin is a spitting image of our grandfather. No, that was good. That was a good one, Devin. But I was going to give you a good compliment. Towards the end, a lot of graphics, a lot of posters, Fast and Furious coming up.
So much time.
But I thought it added a lot to the episode. I really did.
I know, but we just talked about it. So I was like, I edited the entire podcast, and then I left the graphics for another day. And
Yeah.
it took me about equal amount of time to put all the graphics on where they're supposed to be, sized in the right place.
Yeah.
You see the ending has all the movie posters from season 4 in it.
Yeah, I did. That was good. And then you had the little I don't know, teaser or whatever it's called, tag or something like that, where it's my favorite, your favorite. It's
Yeah.
good. I mean, Coachella for you, come on.
And I actually put the Fast and Furious in your hands to show you that I can do it, and I choose not to.
That's true. It's a lot of spite. A lot of spite.
Doing nothing with that. Doing nothing with that.
You could get a lot out of this, Devin. There could be
Yeah.
other things that show up here. I don't have any control over it.
Yeah, well, listen. We're supposed to keep this edit tight, and we've already gone off track so far. But let me tell you about my golfing this week, because unfortunately, by the time this episode comes out, part 3 has closed. Hopefully, I had attended the last day and the vigil.
Well, we don't know if it's closed forever.
No, they're gonna fight. They're gonna keep the fight going. I ordered a T-shirt, still hasn't come yet. It shows that they got it, but it hasn't put any work into delivery or so I'm a little weary of that. But I made a rock for the rock garden that apparently is going to be in it once we save it.
What does that mean? You made a rock? You just picked up a
Well,
rock and colored it or something?
I didn't take sediment and crush them.
Did you put at Architects of Lore on there?
No, I just did. I mean, because you haven't played at the course, so I wanted it to be people who played there.
You're an architect of lore.
Yeah, but until you have your breakdown and quit, I don't have that title yet, so it's still Architects of Lore.
True.
But
we're one more microphone failing away from me leaving. So.
Before that, I actually played in Arizona. Or no,
that was
Springs,
weeks
California.
ago.
Yeah, it was the same road to Arizona. I just stopped 2 hours before. It was in Palm Springs. I played in Palm Springs.
Shot what, 92?
Oh no, easily like 130. It was a horrible day.
One?
I had like 5 hours of sleep. It was rough. I only got one par.
If you shot a 130, you're like almost doubling the par.
I lost like 6 balls on the first 9 hole.
You definitely got your money's worth, Devin. You played
Another
that course
3
twice
balls on the
for one payment.
Yeah.
All right.
It was bad. Then I went to the par 3 and dominated against Ryan and Scott. So maybe it's some nerves. Maybe it's like lack of course knowledge. Maybe it was just playing like shit, because it happens sometimes.
It does happen.
But it was beautiful.
Well, you're going to come
very
out.
tight,
You're going to bring your golf clubs, right?
Nah, I'm going to just use yours. I mean, for the member guest, I'll bring mine. Maybe I'll have some new clubs by then. I got to start saving up, because I'm not getting the distance I need. And I put out a beautiful reel, Save Weddington, coming up. It's on my Instagram. You want to check it out. And
what's your Instagram?
Swing at Devo City, baby.
You want people to go look at your specific reel? Fucking say your Instagram handle.
They'll figure it out. What do I call myself? What's my neon sign say? Figure it out. Beautiful swing though. Real nice, close to the hole.
I mean, you're still way too connected, and we got to work on that when you're back home, because you're. I
haven't seen your swing because you refuse to record it without slow mo. Because there must be some issues in the full speed video.
100%.
That slow mo hides.
Well, I only record in slow mo because then you can't hear me yelp like a women's tennis player every time I hit the ball. I'm just like,
also unusable because the strobe lights would just make it a
it's
visual
just a
hazard.
light that's strobing. All right. Well, I'm
People
sorry.
want to see your swing, Zach.
Right here,
I'm
I'm hoping Weddington gets saved. I put out on Architects of Lore, because I'm the short form king. Sweet, save Weddington. A little talk. You can go and see that on our page at Architects of Lore. Nailed it. Or on YouTube, it's a short. Also, save Weddington at Architects of Lore on YouTube.
You know where it goes on the screen. You know it doesn't change. It's not right in front of your face. It is not right in front of it. And do a straight line. Do a straight line. That's all you need. Across the bottom of the screen.
At Architects Allure. All right. Let's move. I didn't really play that much golf, obviously. I was hoping to get out this week. It's terrible, but next week's supposed to be nice. So hopefully we can get out next week. We'll see. But I do got a golf-related topic for you. Devin, this is going to be a surprise for you. I want you to just take a look at something that came in the mail today. Are you ready?
Okay. All right.
What does this look like?
Oh, are those your Jordan golf shoes?
Who told you? I was purposely keeping this from you.
Very cool.
These sweet Jordan golf shoes.
Very cool. The Jordan 1 Lows golf shoes. Yeah.
What do
Adam
you
told me
think?
about
I got
it
the white
immediately.
laces.
Oh, I think green laces.
You think green? I
think green laces.
Yeah, okay. Adam told you that sort of. I knew when I texted him that I was buying it that I needed to say, "Don't tell Devin."
He told me immediately. He's like, I finally got Zach to buy some Jordans, and then he sent me the picture, and I was like, golf shoes, but at least it's a start.
You mean it's a start?
We'll get you some. Look at mine.
A little bit more. Yep, there you go. Well,
Yeah,
folks,
Adam and I got
this has turned into a
matching-
feet podcast.
match Jordans here.
I'm a little upset that my brother ruined that. That was going to be a great reveal.
It would have been, but nope.
Here we are. So now let's move on to everybody's second favorite part of this show, and that's the
movie game.
movie game. And last week's audience question was Japanese school children. Wait, was this one?
I don't think that was
I don't think that was it. Hold on. I got
Well,
it. Game over, man. The xenomorphs are totally annihilating the Space Marines' anthropomorphized feelings of joy, sadness, anger, disgust, and fear. Devin, that answer, of course, was.
Oh, I had it last week. It's
Yeah.
Inside Out.
Yeah.
So is
I
it
told you the
Alien
answer.
Inside Out?
There it is. It's Aliens and Inside Out. Alien Inside Out. If you got that question, good job. You are a movie game king. If you didn't,
Or
go
Queen.
watch some movies.
Or Royal.
Or Prince. Maybe we'll have a royal system. Of
All right,
movies.
here's your question.
Why is he like this, folks? I don't
What
understand.
happened to our lore list Jade membership? We did that on the season 1 or year 1
I
recap.
know, and I thought
never
that was
brought it back up.
hilarious. We need to bring it
All right.
back up.
Ready?
Yep.
A man who realized that his whole life is a manufactured reality show escapes his confines alongside a sassy cat and energetic pup to traverse the wild and get back to their owners.
Oh, yeah.
I know
First off,
you've seen that second movie.
Second movie, one of the greatest movies of all time. We need to review it for the lore list. It might challenge Paddington 2 for the real number 1. Because we all know Lawrence Arabia is kind of like a sub number 1. It's like a 1B.
No, real number 1.
But the answer that you're looking for is the Truman Show, Homeward Bound. The Truman Show and Homeward Bound.
Full title for Homeward Bound, please.
I have no idea. There's a full title.
Yeah.
I thought it was just
Yeah.
Homeward Bound.
And you'd be wrong.
An epic
It is
journey.
Homeward Bound, the incredible journey.
Oh, incredible instead of epic. But Chance, lovable Michael J. Fox. I never know who the shadow guy is, but he has a great deep voice. And Sally Fields, right, is the cat. Fuck, what's the cat's name? Don't look it up. Don't look it up. You're not my Google. All right, relax over there.
My hands are right here. I'm not even trying to look it up.
Keep your hands up while I ask you this movie game question. Puberty hero shoots his sticky stuff at metallic armed Octodoc, who exclaims, "I'm your Huckleberry."
It's Spider-Man, but is it Spider-Man 2?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because Doc Ock isn't in the first one.
Yeah, it's Spider-Man 2.
So Spider-Man 2, I'm Your Huckleberry. Is that what's
It's also a pizza brand, a frozen pizza brand.
Tombstone?
Put it all together.
Tombstone. Spider-Man Tombstone.
There
Spider-Man
it
2
is.
Tombstone.
He's got it.
Forgot the first one for a second. I was like, what was that first
What did I do? What did I do? Okay. Prepare for the loop. Put the loop in your mind. Put it in your mind.
No agains. And no
again.
intro.
No intro.
Right? Just ask the question.
Well, no, the intro, you haven't seen it yet because it hasn't posted yet. The intro is always going to be the movie game. And then I'm going to do it.
So do you put that at the end too?
No.
How's it a loop then? Because you know when the beginning is.
This one's not a loop, but this is the round one that you cut out, and I thought it was funny, so I kept it in.
I put it at the end?
Yeah, I know, but it's like it's so far at the end that are people really going to see it? You know, I think people needed to see it. Let's move on.
Listen, we had so many 5 to 10 minute long bits in that episode. It could have easily been a 2-hour episode.
Easily. Audience. Japanese school children are dropped on an island and forced to Hunger Games each other for the amusement of the sadistic Queen of Hearts. Japanese school children are dropped on an island and forced to Hunger Games each other for the amusement of the sadistic Queen of Hearts. Audience. Japanese school children are dropped on an island and forced to Hunger Games each other.
Zach, what's up next?
Devin, you wanted this, so you got it. Which means all season long, all Fast 5 of Architects of Lore, you're going to be introducing the next segment in hilarious and exponentially crazier ways. So, for the first one, you get to do a little basic. Go ahead, Devin. What are we getting into?
We're studying the blueprint in the writer's Zoom.
No, that's not true. It's just studying the blueprints this time. It's building the lore, and the writer zooms at the end. This one is just.
I got too fuck caught up.
The first one.
We're studying the blueprints. We're studying the blueprints.
What a great movie, right, folks? Fast and Furious. I'm glad that I finally got us to watch all of it.
Shut your mouth. This is all me, baby. Fast and Furious. The Fast and the Furious. 2001. The start of a great franchise. We got Dominic Toretto. We got Brian O'Connor. But not in this movie. He's got a fake name. You want to know why? Because he's a cop. First off, let's get started. People are stealing combination TV DVD players. All right? And it's expert drivers. So the FBI and the LAPD have teamed up together to put a spy, Brian, into the circle. They know Dom Toretto is the middle of everything. So he goes to the shop, hangs out, falls in love with Mia, Dom's sister. Don't get started. But he gains his respect through street racing, saving Dom, and then he's like, oh, it's got to be Tran and the boys. Who are these guys? It's got to be Hector. No. It's Dom, but he's blinded by family and love for Mia. But so then there's race wars, and they go to race wars. And then one of the guys on Jesse from the team loses to Tran, but can't lose his dad's car, so he flees. And then when they find him back in LA, Tran kills him. So Toretto goes after him, and so does Brian. And they get their revenge on that guy. But then Toretto's got to do one last job. And he's like, no, it's a bad idea. Oh, no, that happened before.
Yeah.
They did the job before the Jesse death scene.
Yeah.
So and then Brian's like, you can't do it. And he's like, we got to do it. So Vince and Dom and Letty go without Jesse, and Leon's there, but Leon's like, I don't know if I trust this idea. Leon, we never see again. He gets out of there. He puts his life behind him. I think he's a teacher somewhere. I don't know. But
Well, don't spoil the sequels.
you never see Leon again. Spoiler alert, Leon does not come back. When he says I'm out of here, he means it. So anyways, if Vince goes down, because someone had to go down for it, so Vince goes down, they save his life. Brian reveals he's got to Mia and to Dom, but they save Vince. He lets Brian lets Dom go using his car. I owe you a 10-second car. Take my car. Boom. And a movie. But is Brian a cop anymore? I don't know. Maybe he's a street racer now. We'll find out in Too Fast, Too Furious. But that's the Fast and the Furious 2001. It is a great movie. It is gritty. It is about street racing. It is realistic. This is about family.
Okay. I'm going to come at this from an outsider's perspective because you're clearly all in the Fast and the Furious sauce.
I'm a fan.
I get it. That's fine. I
Check
have
out the
not
shirt.
seen most of these movies.
Okay.
Just have. Okay. I have seen the Fast and the Furious before.
So you got to go just as this one then. You can't think
that's
any
all I'm doing.
other movie.
That's all I'm doing.
Okay.
This movie, and I don't want you to get upset about this.
Then don't say anything dumb.
This movie is a ripoff of Point Break.
No, yeah, it's a remake.
Except
of Point Break,
instead of surfing, it's cars.
Who cares?
I'm just telling you.
Make movies all the time.
Yeah,
I never said
fine.
it wasn't Point Break. I never
Okay.
said this was an original idea.
This is Point Break with cars. But
There's only like 8 ideas anyways. Come on.
That's true. But
It's almost Romeo and Juliet.
are you going to let me fucking talk? But this one is actually an entertaining, realistic, good movie. Because there's heart, there's characters, there's character depths and motivations that I can understand. I think, honestly, some of the best acting I've ever seen from Vin Diesel is the scene where they're both in the garage and he tells him about how his dad died and how he beat the shit out of the guy who clipped his dad. And he didn't even, I didn't mean to keep hitting him.
We get more into that at 9.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Don't chirp in. I don't want to know. I don't want to be spoiled.
Okay. Sorry.
This is my inaugural journey. I don't want you, the guy who's gonna be there, going like, "Yeah, this really is gonna pay off 7 movies down the road."
I'm just saying, when we started this podcast, we said spoiler warning for everything.
Yeah, but not now, because now we're in the Fast 5 series that Zach hasn't seen most of these.
The
movies.
Fast Season 5. It's the Fast and Furious franchise in the Architects of Lore. Fast Season 5.
Thank you.
I'm doing the branding.
It's too much of a mouthful.
Now, if you watch these movies, you understand. You can have a title that's at least 10 words.
Fine.
The Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw.
Let's also get a couple of things out here. This movie is horribly dated. The first 5 minutes of this movie is just like, oh my God, what am I watching? With bright neon cars and blue under the thing, and then what the people are wearing and the DVD combo players. I'm like, you know how some movies, even though they're made in the past, they're still timeless? The beginning of this movie is not timeless.
So you watch North by Northwest and you're like, oh my God, this doesn't take place in present day 2024. It's a movie from 2001. What do you mean? What do you want from it?
As it moves on, the movie gets into more timeless themes and whatnot, okay? Of who is your chosen family. And let's be honest here. Brian O'Connor, the character in just this specific movie, he's basically a blank slate. You don't know anything about Brian's past.
No.
You don't know anything about Brian's
Well, you can't trust
family.
that if that story about him stealing cars as a kid was made up or not, because that's
you have no idea.
That
could be an undercover story. You don't know if that's true or not.
And you see him in Dodger Stadium practice driving, so it's like, has he even driven before this?
Exactly. Like, I'm just saying, the character, the main hero, the main protagonist of this movie, just this movie, not the series, just this movie, is a blank slate with no past. But you can tell what the motivation and feelings that he's going for is that once he's in this world, he's deciding that these people are worthy of respect, loyalty, and family. And then he has to contrast that
Well,
between his job and his police family.
I think you do also have to understand it takes a certain type of person to be undercover. They probably don't have a family, right? They're not married. They don't have children. In this case, he's a young guy. He has ambition to be a
Startlingly
sergeant.
blue eyes. Startling. I
Amazingly
noticed that
blue eyes.
several times during
When
this
he
movie.
has his face covered, you can still see.
And I don't
because
know
of
if that
his
was
eyes.
color correction in some
I
of
don't
it
think. I think
afterwards,
they're
or
just
if it's
gorgeous.
just his
But hold on,
eyes.
hold on. To my point. His job, who he is, and his tenacity. Like you say, blank slate, but there's things you can infer from his position, from his fighting, from the way he takes shit until he's pushed way too far. Like it might not be like defined, but the nuances of this character are there. You just got to look for them.
Okay, thank you. I do not want this season to be you defending everything in these movies.
I'm just saying, you're making these outrageous claims that Brian O'Connor is nothing when you're just not like seeing the whole picture, and I'm just trying to open your eyes to the whole picture.
Okay, I appreciate. You don't have to defend these movies. I actually liked this one.
Okay.
Now we'll see what happens with Too Fast, Too Furious because I've seen that movie before and I remember it being a hot fucking mess. So
don't go into it with any preconceived notions. Okay. Because it's hilarious.
I am taking these. I am now, after this serious movie, because this one was more serious. This was more gritty, more realistic. I am now looking at this as these are B horror comedy movies, that vein of like, we're just going in to have fun. Not everything needs to make sense.
Why can't movies just be about fun and telling a story?
Why are you getting so defensive? I'm just
because
saying
you sounded like a movie snob over here. You're talking about movies you haven't even seen in 20 years, and you're like, it's a hot mess. Why don't you take a watch and then make your decision? Okay?
All right, fine. I'm going to come in next week, and I'm going to say it sucks, and you're going to get all upset.
See, look at the preconceived notions, folks. Look at the preconceived notions.
Maybe it'll surprise me. Maybe it'll spread.
Also, I hope it does.
I didn't even say the whole thing as a blank slate as a bad thing. I'm just saying you can tell a good story without having to have mountains and mountains of backstory for the main character. You're correct. Exactly. I can infer that he probably had a rough childhood. I can infer that his initial motivation is just he wants to rise up the ranks and he wants to do a good job. I can also infer that probably because of his bad childhood that he already knew kind of people like this and he remembered that like they're good people that do bad things.
He's searching for a family. He's searching for it in the police force. He's searching for it with Dom Toretto and the gang.
Also, we can also...
Well, they're not a gang. They're a family.
We can also say, Mia's hot. Like...
Yeah.
She's very attractive. Like,
so is Letty.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, they're all hot people. I mean, clearly.
They're all attractive people.
The most unrealistic part about this movie is how easily they find parking in LA. Just in front of where
this was also 2001. You weren't there in 2001. It
True.
Could have been easier.
Maybe the parking was much better. Yeah.
Who knows?
But
there we are, Devin. I think the only real question now is how do I combat you from trying to say that this is the number one movie on the lore list?
I'm not going to say it's the number one movie. Well, hold on. Did it pass the phone test? Yeah. I had to stop myself from watching 2 into 3 into 4. Like, I'm so ready for this franchise. I'm so excited.
What do you mean? And I didn't want to watch. You've seen them all so many times,
and I can't wait to see them again. And I can't. I feel like a newborn child watching these for the first time.
I think
because these are family friendly.
I found this on Peacock. I think the order that's on Peacock is the chronological order.
Nice.
So because it goes 1, then it goes 2, and then it goes to Fast and the Furious, Fast 5, Fast 6, Tokyo Drift. It's like all in a row.
Yeah. That's chronological.
At
least Peacock knows what they're doing.
True. All right.
There's some cool driving. There's some cool tech. The tech, obviously looked 2001, but it's like, oh, you should be going to MIT with Jesse there. Mm-hmm. Like,
then Jesse does.
Jada Kiss is in this and does a lot of music. Hector, I'm pretty sure that actor has an interview about him always being called Hector. Like his character is always called Hector. And then yeah, I mean the backstory. They have this whole like, Vince not trusting Brian, saying he's a cop the whole time. And
he
he's
was.
right.
He was.
He's been right the whole time, but still he's somehow like the bad guy. No one's really rooting for him.
I did notice that you didn't say that we never see Vince again, so now you're ruining stuff for me by saying that the other one.
Honestly, I can't remember about Vince, but I know for a fact we don't see Leon again.
All right. Well,
because I was like,
I need to stop you from waxing poetically about this. So let's.
I'm just saying it's interesting how the original family, you see them because they always do the picnic drinking Coronas. Corona must have been a huge sponsor of the movies. You can have any beer you want as long as it's Corona. Mm-hmm. But no, they always sit at that picnic table in every movie. That's like a set piece of every movie is they always sit at that picnic table. And it's just funny that the people around it the first time are just vastly different from the people around it in 10.
Well, The Rock wasn't available in 2001, so of course.
He was probably doing Scorpion King or something.
It might have been right around that time.
Yeah.
But let's
Mummy
find out.
came out in 1999, so I imagine.
Let's find out where this falls on the lore list.
The lore list.
All right, Devin, why don't you give a rundown of what's on the lore list right now?
For our lore list top 10, we have Lawrence of Arabia, Shawshank Redemption, Raiders of the Lost Ark, The Lion King, Pirates of the Caribbean, Spirited Away, Step Brothers, Groundhog's Day, The Matrix, and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Zach likes to claim Paddington 2 is at the top, but Architects of Lore has never reviewed that movie, so that's why it maintains its asterisk. I'm not going to say this is a top 10 movie. I'm not going to be
Fast and Furious is 2. It's 2.
No, it's not better than
way better than Shawshank Redemption.
I don't even think this is better than Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Oh
my God, you're being realistic about this.
Yes, I do think though it could be a top 20 movie. So right now we have Shrek, Home Alone, Always Be My Maybe, The Other Guys, and The Conjuring going from 6 and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, I guess, because someone did not up the list and the numbering is wrong.
It is?
17 and 16 are flipped. But
yeah. That's because I flipped them last time. I never checked.
Yeah.
I would do above The Other Guys. I would do
now,
19.
Is it above Always Be My Maybe?
No.
I think so.
They
have yet to make Always Be My Maybe 2, Always Be My Baby.
If we're going to go based on sequels...
I'm just saying, we always talk about the cultural impact of the movie we watch. And does this not have one of the biggest cultural impact? This has roller coasters based off of this movie.
That's fair. Okay, I think the tiebreaker has to be which movie has a dame in it.
Helen Mirren?
I know that Helen Mirren's in the Fast and the Furious franchise, Devin. I've never seen her in it, but I did hear about her casting.
So.
All right, fine. All right, no. We're going to our patented. You bring home a nice young lady. Okay? You're sitting down on the couch. You popped up some popcorn. And you say, hey, nice young lady that I met at a church group, of course. Would you like to watch?
That's realistic.
Always Be My Maybe or The Fast and the Furious? And if she says Always Be My Maybe, the real question is, are you kicking her out?
I might, because that might be a huge test. If I'm like, hey, you want to watch The Fast and Furious? And she's like, no, that's a dumb franchise. I'll be like, you're dumb. Get out of my life.
You're dumb. Get out.
I can't wait for 11.
All right. So I think.
You ever see a car drive down a dam?
No, I haven't.
Just wait.
All right, I'll do it. Fine, only because of the cultural impact.
It's a big factor in the lore list. We know that. The movie gods respect the hell out of cultural impact.
They really do.
The new number 18 on the lore list, The Fast and the Furious.
It's surprisingly good.
Zach's opinion, my opinion is that it's notoriously good.
Well, there you have it, folks. Step 1, Act 1 of our 11-part journey in this Architects of Lore presents The Fast and the Furious Fast 5 season. Devin, now we got a monumental task ahead of us, and that's in building the lore in the writer's Zoom.
All right, guys, we said it. We are going to build a franchise. It is going to start with a very realistic movie starring characters that we each can play, and it will build.
I don't think we need that part.
Listen, buddy, I'm trying to get a job here, and if we're selling a franchise that's going to last 20 plus years, like the Fast and Furious franchise has, I want to be on camera.
But you don't have to be like a main part. We can have bit.
No.
You and
I
I
didn't
can
say
have
main
bit
part.
parts, and we could like make money
part.
from writing
I just said,
it. Yeah, okay.
And maybe it'll be like we'll just have bit parts in every
movie. Yeah,
and
we're always like the guys.
Stan Lee type thing.
Yeah, we're always like the guys at the table eating, and then like a real crazy thing happens.
Yeah, but you realize it's the same guys the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe we should build in an 11-part story of just our characters and where we are throughout the franchise. We'll come up with it later.
Like the Lion King 1.5, we'll just do a version of that where it's what our characters did throughout.
Okay, so taking from the
we're
theme
starting realistic and going big by the
Fine.
end. So we got to start at
I want to have 2 rules. First rule was what you said. I want to start realistic. Second rule is that I don't want to do fantasy, because I feel like this franchise is like really easy to go superhero fantasy type stuff. The Fast and the Furious franchise is like kind of an anomaly with being like sort of realistic.
I was going to say, yeah, like, I mean, you haven't gotten into it yet, but Tyrese makes a hilarious joke about them being immortal.
Yeah,
because they've been in so many gunfights and haven't taken. Like, I got shot at by 60 people, and I don't have a bullet wound on me.
Thank you for spoiling the joke for me later.
You'll find it's like weeks from now that you'll see this episode, that show. But like, are we going to the vein where it's like, okay, it's pretty unrealistic that these people survive jumping out of airplanes with cars, but like.
Okay,
whatever.
But that's later. That's later, Devin. We're starting super realistic.
I know, but like, I'm not saying that they have to be like revealed to be aliens from outer space with Kryptonian like powers.
No. Okay, I'll be honest with you. Since we talked about this last week, I actually have been thinking about this because I'm like, I don't want us to paint ourselves into a box because we have to make 11 of these. So I have been really.
Well, it could be a spin-off.
No. Well, I mean, there's going to be prequels, obviously. Probably a prequel comic, most likely, or maybe a video game. We'll have tie-in. There's definitely a lot of merch.
You don't want it to be fancy, but it's a video game. All right, so this is the prequel about the librarian, and in this video game, you are going to go through and put all these books away.
We're not doing a movie about librarians.
But what if they start as librarians? I don't know. I said grounded.
Okay, here's my idea that I have been thinking about. What I want to do is the way I think in order to franchise movies is to make them episodic so that each movie can be on its own.
Yeah, they got to be able to stand alone.
So we got to think about this as more of like a TV series or a manga series or a book series where there's standalone and then long plot threads. Okay? But the first movie has to have the long plot thread also wrapped up in the first movie that then we reopen in the second movie to move forward. Of course. Obviously.
Yeah, it's like how Harry Potter puts like the Horcruxes in the first book, and you like don't even realize it.
Yeah,
like they mentioned Sirius Black in the first chapter, and you're like, "Whoa!"
So I didn't want to get too deep into it because I didn't want to come in here with a fully formed idea. That's crazy. That's what this process,
especially
is
as I tear it down.
Well, if I had a fully formed idea and you tore it down, you'd be wrong. You'd just be wrong. So we're going brushstrokes. What I want to do is I want to do the wandering swordsman type trope. Okay.
What did you say? The first word, rush trucks?
The Wandering Swordsman.
No, before
trope.
that, I think you said Rush Trucks.
I said Rush Trucks.
Yeah, what's that mean?
Rewind the tape. Because I don't know what you're talking about. Rush Trucks. Can we just go? Because we're at 51 minutes and you need to start editing this tonight. Okay? You told me that you needed to fucking be tight. And you're
I'm not the one
here,
bringing up Rush Trucks.
You're over here. Yes, you did.
You said it. I don't know what a Rush Truck is.
I want to do the Wandering Swordsman type theme.
Okay, what is that?
The Wandering Swordsman is basically a pretty baseline character. So, again, this was not a dig at Brian O'Connor. I actually took inspiration from him after watching this movie. Comes in with a pretty blank slate that we eventually flesh out in later movies. But as he comes in as just a fully formed person for himself that the audience doesn't have to know everything about. So I'm thinking...
So what's the idea?
Okay. The idea is that we're in...
That doesn't explain Wandering Swordsman, but go on.
The Wandering Swordsman comes from town to town and he rights the wrongs that he's there for. But they're not necessarily why he came to town to begin with. Okay?
Okay. He's just wandering around.
Yeah, he has a reason. So my idea was that we're in space. Because I don't want to do this on Earth.
You just said no fantasy, and now we're in space.
Space is sci-fi, not fantasy.
Whatever.
All right. We're in space. So basically the Wandering Swordsman is going to have like a ship. He's going to have a companion. He's going to go from town to town. And his main thing that I'm thinking that he's doing is that he is searching for something. I don't want it to be gold or prestige or an empire. I was thinking more along the lines of maybe like a lost loved one, like a sister or something like that.
Mandalorian?
Okay. He's not protecting the companion. The companion is just with him.
Say he's going town to town, looking for something. Looking for the lost Mandalore.
Okay.
Go on.
I'm going to punch you through my phone.
I'm just saying, you're doing like a spaceship going from place to place. It just sounds like season 1 of The Mandalorian. But go on.
Okay, well, he was trying to deliver Grogu somewhere. Okay, we're not doing that. Wandering Swordsman, opaque past, already has a companion that he's picked up along the way. And my vision is that these movies, he picks up people to be a part of his crew, his mission, whatever he's doing along the way. So the first movie, we get introduced to some other character, maybe like the character that's always in these movies that like is kind of nervous and says, oh my God, this is crazy. So the audience knows that it's crazy, but then they do it anyway. That type of character, maybe they pick that up. And then there's got to be a strong female gunslinger, maybe like character later or something like that. Like, and then we got the big guy who's kind of dumb, but he's like super loyal and everything like that. That's like these episodic movies are how we meet those people, bring them together, and then we have a final epic in our 11th movie. What do you think?
Okay. Very well thought out. Very interesting idea of basically an origin story for every movie. I think it's a little too big for a starting point. I think you get to, because I'm like, you could be in a world where there are spaceships and traveling around, but it almost makes sense to make like a stranded on one specific planet without a ship where you see the background, because it just seems so epic where you're traveling around already, like that seems like so built, because it's like, you know, Fast and Furious didn't get to space until 9. So it's like, we're starting in space?
We're in space, but my idea was the first whole movie takes place at his first stop. So he got there. He's in the town. He's searching for something.
But already having a
something.
ship and already being established as like this made man almost seems like a very limiting in where we can go. Because by 10, I'm thinking this guy is fighting a Galactus at the end of the universe. Because like the stakes are already starting so high that he has his own ship. Like in Solo,
maybe the first movie is that he gets his ship.
That's what I'm saying. Like
as
in
a reward.
Solo, we see kind of like this grungy guy who becomes Han Solo. And unless you want to do something like that with a prequel, I'm just worried that we're starting too big too soon. What do you think?
Fair enough. Okay. So.
And I was also thinking this planet in this world just because I was going off the fast method, but
yes, I do not want to. I don't want him to be traveling around. I don't want him to get multiple companions in the first movie. Each movie is kind of like how we're introduced to another companion, and then they join at the end, but still going on whatever this main quest is, whatever it is. I'm thinking in my head.
We got to discuss what this main quest is, and who are these people, and are they good guys? Are they heroes? Is this about a group of heroes that we discover? And this isn't first movie questions. This is franchise questions. Okay. Like at the end, are they a Guardians of the Galaxy type?
Yes.
With cyber kinetics, whatever.
Yeah.
Powers.
That was my plan.
Okay, I like that. I get that at the end. I also worry that people might get bored of every single movie being an origin story for a new character.
I'm not saying everyone. I mean, he's gonna get three or four crewmates, and then they go all do something together. The rest
I know, but
like, we can go bigger.
Fast and the Furious started. It starts as an individual film about Brian.
Yeah,
and by the end of it, I mean, because obviously they had to switch over to Dom, but like it is very ensemble as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just like in the Fast franchise, Brian is a stay-at-home dad, you know. So it's like they can move. You can move on. I don't want to get tied to this one guy and just be like, okay, this is his story. Because one, I feel like we could just be unintentionally giving him plot armor because we know at 11. Like I don't want to go into it being like at 11 he's our Thor or whatever. It's like, you know, maybe he does die in 5. I don't know, but.
Well, I mean, I haven't seen them, but I have seen the trailers for a lot of them. Dom Toretto has plot armor. The Fast and Furious franchise is about him now.
No, I think his muscles are just so big that they like it's actual armor.
I'm just saying he has. You're right. He wasn't in 2. He wasn't in Tokyo Drift, as far as I know. But I think once starting 4 through the rest of them, he's in all of them.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's fine.
And in his contract, he does have, like, he can't lose a fight, but no big deal.
NBD. That's fine. What we need is really simple archetypes in the first movie, but then a compelling story that we can expand on. It doesn't have to be super detailed. It doesn't have to be super thought out, but we need, like, here's a cool story point that these characters also can do other things in next movies. And it's not crazy. Like, why would they go do a car racing thing when they were over here being accountants? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like one could be like more of a heist, and one could be like more of a hunt, and like one could be more of like a they were, you know, now accused of something, and now they're fugitives, and now they're on the other end of it. You know, like.
Yeah, we're going to have fugitives. We're going to have enemies of the government. We're going to have evil twins. We're going to have brothers or sisters that we don't know, that we thought are dead, that are coming back, and now they're enemies, but then they become friends. Of course, we got all that. We got 11 movies to fill up.
Is this basically an Earth future?
Sure. Did you ever see?
We have humans, and we have like.
Did you ever see like Firefly?
No.
I mean, Star Wars kind of does this. I'm thinking like it's the future to the point where anybody really can do a spaceship, but it's kind of run down spaceships. Like it's not like $68 trillion worth of spaceship with sleek sides and whatnot. It's more like I just put together a convertible and then you move on. As a spaceship type
of thing. It's like buying a car. It's like the equivalent of having a car right now.
Exactly.
Because transportation on the planets has gotten so, you know, it's public or whatever, like trains and very like, so it's like, you know, you have your spaceports, but it's basically like having a Honda Civic.
Yeah.
And, you know, some people have Range Rovers and some people have $200 beaters, but they'll still get you there.
And I'm thinking these people are in a part of space that's maybe starting to be colonized. Like there is a government entity there, but they're not like all powerful. So like a lot of these places are
all
also
humans.
No, I would say multi-alien. type thing or whatever.
Well, you said you don't want to do like fantasy. I mean, what are like what's the limits? Because I could really be down for in this future world. There are different inhabitable planets that the human race has colonized.
Okay.
And in one, it's only humans.
Fair. Okay.
When we get to 4 or 5 or 7, we could introduce like, who are the people who are opposed to the Star Trek people,
the Borgs or the Klingons.
Yeah, I don't know. But like
another race.
Major instead of introducing like thousands of possibilities, it could just be like humans for the first couple movies and then maybe introduce another human like creature, I guess, that has also colonized and now it's opening the world. But if we start with like, people with tentacles and fish breathers, I think, again, everything has to get bigger. Everything has to be bigger than the last.
Well, 11's pared down, right?
We don't know.
11's more
what
realistic.
If they go fucking nuts, man? Because I saw the end of 10, and it does not seem like 11 is going to fit in with their more realistic stuff.
Okay.
Because 10 is fucking wild. But Hobbs and Shaw, basically, there's a superhero. I don't want to get into it. But anyways, everything has to be basically double from what the last movie was. So when we get to 11, you're going to look back at 1 and be like, how the fuck did we start there?
I feel like 11 will be easier to do because it'll just be like, what's the craziest idea you can come up with? Put it in a movie.
Do you remember the opening of Star Trek starring Chris Pine?
The J.J. Abrams Star Trek, yes.
Yeah. The very opening before he gets his license. And he's on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
And you see that they still drive motorcycles. I mean, it might be like very like lame thing that he's driving a motorcycle, very antique. But in the world, we see the spaceships, we see the stuff. So that's what I'm saying. There's like a spaceport, but then we just do a small crime movie at the beginning in one of these ports, very grounded, with a handful of characters, all doing things that could happen in this world, but just happen to take place in a future where there are spaceships and stuff. So our wandering hero comes in off a Greyhound bus that happens to be like, like space, and they're on a place like Space Stop 66. Not necessarily, but
no, we're not doing it.
I know, but we could have like posters.
There could be like a call,
like, take a trip, it could be like a sign, like a billboard sign. We have space billboards, and it's just like one-stop shop, Space Stop 66, just like in the opening beginning when he's coming in on the Greyhounds thing.
Yeah, and then another sign that says "Chill and be chill." Your next vacation, Pentalon 5.
Yeah, come on, that'd be hilarious. Yeah,
that would be fun.
So. He comes in on basically like the equivalent of a smoking Greyhound bus, but it's coming from outer space. And then he's getting off with other humans. So we see that it's like just humans.
Okay.
He's getting a room at a local inn. Maybe that's where we meet our first person. Or like your companion, are you thinking creature or are you thinking other sentient human?
I was thinking a robot, but like a creature robot type thing that also has voice.
Okay. I mean, that could be something like he saves out of a dumpster.
We can get that maybe in the third movie.
Yeah. They could be around, though. You could see that there's robots who are like, if he goes into a saloon type thing, and the server is like a robot, and you see the piano playing itself, like very realistic, You
Maybe like
They have pianos
integrated,
that
like
play
organic robots. Like there's a cat robot because like thousands of years ago they like spliced some tech into cats, and then it got like way out of hand. So now there's just tech cat robots and stuff. Could be that.
Well, I was thinking, yeah, like I was thinking he finds a creature in like a dumpster, and it's like some cyborg cat type thing,
Yeah.
and that's his like, and he tries to get rid of it, and it just keeps following him around, and then ends up like getting him out of a jam, and he's like, all right, maybe you're not as bad type thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is like a Last Ronin type where he just all about himself. He doesn't want any help or companions, and
Mm-hmm.
we don't know his overall arching thing, but it could be something like figuring out who killed his parents, or we don't have to figure that out in one.
My thought process was that, because I couldn't help but thinking about that, because I want to know this guy's motivation, was that he is looking for someone. So I'm not necessarily, because I want this guy to be a good guy, like one of the main characters, but I want him to be able to do bad things. Like the Wandering Ronin is like, this guy comes in, he'll stand up to whoever's doing wrong, no matter if it's a government official or the biggest fucking crime boss there. So I want this guy to be able to do bad things but be a good person type of character. And maybe he has some sort of other ability, so he doesn't have to be like this huge jacked guy like in Reacher, where he's an ex-military guy and he's just bigger than everybody, so he kills them. Maybe there's some sort of experimentation on him and a family member.
You could reveal in later episodes that he has like a neuron chip that makes him react 10 times faster, and it's like, because I was thinking like a pod race type thing.
Mm-hmm. Either
and,
reaction
they know
faster,
it's going to be rigged, but he has a way to figure it out.
We could get into light augmentation for humans based on tech or whatever. So maybe light power sets, nothing crazy or huge, maybe limited telekinetics,
jump
or
higher, run faster,
or whatever. Yeah, stuff like that. But this guy, I want him to be able to, like, he comes in town, he's on his goal, he's got to find something so he can get to the next thing to do what he's searching for, but then he gets wrapped up in what's happening in this town, and maybe his moral code, or maybe somebody that he said, maybe the guy or sister or somebody that he's looking for always told him, like, hey, you help who you can when you can. And he always takes that to heart, because a lot of times he just wants to get on, but then he sees something wrong and he goes like, I gotta get involved.
If he does have a family, I would like for them to be either dead or estranged.
Yes, I don't want him to have,
because I think he needs to find his family on this journey.
Yep.
And, we discover why he was alone when he comes into this place later.
Yep.
Throughout the franchise. But I do like it, and maybe he's searching for something. He's like, oh, I'm looking for a gold-plated arcillerator. I don't know. Making up a MacGuffin.
For this movie. Because he needs it to do something else on his journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Making something up, and it's like, that's going to run you whatever. It's like, that's crazy. That's, well, that's what happens when you're this far away from like the galaxy ports, or, you're out on the last colonization, or like this colony was forgotten about. Yeah. Colony 1. Those are, they are experimented with it. And now everything's like, this could be like first colony, and now it's shitty because everything else is so much nicer.
Mm-hmm.
So that would make sense. I mean, can they breathe? Or are we doing like breathing apparatuses? Is like
we're on planets that have breathing. We're fine with that.
Or we could at least make up that they have like an artificial atmosphere or something.
Mm-hmm.
Huge dome.
Huge dome.
10 acres, big, 3
okay.
TVs.
So I think we got the wandering swordsman type character. He blows into town on some sort of Greyhound type spaceport bus, whatever. We don't know where he came from. All we know is that he's on some sort of journey. The journey in this particular place is he needs to get some sort of MacGuffin, carburetor, accelerator, whatever it is, to either fix something or travel somewhere, whatever that specific thing is. And all that specific thing is here is to help him move on to go towards his goal. Okay. It's not going to be like a lifelong 11-part series thing where he gets this one, and then it pays off in 11.
No. He's not building something that finally gets revealed in 11.
Yeah. But I'm thinking that he meets some locals. Some locals are in a bad time, maybe. It's something
Yeah,
like you
they
said.
run the inn, but there's like he's the only visitor to the inn for the last 6 rotations.
Yep, and then they're under some sort of gang or corrupt official or something that's like really putting their boots to their necks to get money that they don't have, type of thing. He starts to see that he doesn't want to get involved, just moves on or whatever. And then through the course of the movie, by meeting, because like this movie's all about characters. If we don't have good characters in this movie, doesn't matter. It's like our wandering swordsman needs to be how the audience gets in to this. They want to see this as somebody to root for. They want to see this as somebody like this. Somebody's going to take care of business. So then we also need the lovable scamp type character, the talking character, run their mouth, but can't really defend themselves type character, but it's pretty smart. Maybe that's who we meet here. Maybe that's like the son of the parents running this place, or the daughter, or something like that.
Well, do we want to put in a future love interest immediately? Like,
I don't think immediately.
I think there should be some. I don't know. I don't want to say damsel in distress, but like that does work well.
I mean, we could do a thing where the movies.
We don't have to put them together like romantically, but it could be like she runs the inn that he's staying in, and
so I want him. I don't want. I guess okay. This is a decision we have to make. Do we want this guy to be alone throughout the movies, or he builds like a repertoire of people who are following him where he is going throughout the movies? Like in the next movie,
100% the second. 100% the second. You cannot build onto a franchise about family at its core, because the whole franchise is about building your found family.
Okay.
I mean, that's why he's finding these people along the way. It's like he was alone at the beginning, and then he's going to end with at least 2 people. That's why I was thinking, like, a woman who runs a shop, and then her younger brother got into some trouble or something, like,
okay,
something like that. Where like,
which one is coming with him?
Both.
But then we're gonna have a love
it's
interest
so
from
much
movie
more
1.
Tragic. It's gonna be so tragic when the brother dies in 3.
Okay.
It's gonna be we gotta put people to die.
That's
unfortunately.
Fine. That's fine.
We gotta pull our heartstrings.
But then at the end of 1, are they not together? I guess that's my thing.
They are together.
But I don't want them to be together the whole fucking series. You know what I mean?
What are you talking about?
Like, I don't want them to get together and then be basically boyfriend and girlfriend, and then get married up like throughout. Like, if we're gonna put them together at some point, we gotta take them apart.
You mean like romantically together? I meant physically they're in a group together.
You said love interest, and then so.
Oh, there's gonna be tensions. Maybe a kiss here, kiss there.
Okay.
And then it's like, so and it's like, whoa, that was in the moment. But if we're gonna be on this journey, like we can't. And then put yourself. Can't new girl this. Can't put them together too soon.
That's what I'm saying.
You have to have the dynamic.
Okay.
Then you got to bring in other people to make them jealous.
Yes. There is a formula to this. There's a formula.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you have to set it up that they are compatible from jump, and they should be together, but they're just too stubborn to figure it out.
Okay. All right. So we got the strong-willed, protective, intelligent, street smart older sister runs the inn. Then we got her younger, book smart, but a little meek, but impulsive younger brother. Because I think he's the one that kind of gets them into trouble. And then we got
he's like a Leon type.
Yeah. Then we got yeah, but then we never see Leon again.
I mean Jesse.
Okay.
Jesse.
And then we got the wandering Ronin who comes in to their lives.
And I think their inn gets destroyed because they need to have no more connection to this place in order to leave.
Yes. That is going to be in the 3rd act. The inn gets destroyed, and then they have to go. Maybe the brother is taken. I'm going to go with the brother, because I want the sister and the wandering Ronin to go save the brother.
Well, also, they have to be together in order to develop feelings.
Yes, exactly. I also definitely want, this is a trope, but I definitely want this. Whatever he is searching for in the beginning, whoever the evil person is in this movie just offers to give it to him if he'll leave. And then he doesn't accept it. And he's like, he's my friend. And then, boom, we're in a fight scene. Car chases. motorcycle battles,
Or he takes
flamethrowers.
it, and she's like, "You're really gonna leave?" And he's like, "No, but why would I not take this?" Like,
I mean,
well,
this is basically free because I'm gonna beat him up anyway.
yeah. And it's like, "What about your word?" It's like, "Do you trust his word? Why should I even like? What do you mean? You know, he has to have faults. He has to be like a flawed hero
Oh yeah.
because at the by 11 he's basically God.
Mm-hmm.
But if he survives, well,
Well,
I think he takes the offer and he's like, "Take this and leave." And he's like, "Okay." And then he's walking out, and the sister's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'll be back," and just comes back with a fucking blaster and just starts blasting. So anyway, I just started blasting.
I don't know about blasted.
Okay, here's the thing: are we gonna give these people body counts? And if so, is it gonna be on screen or off screen? Because
Off screen.
Off screen, because
I don't want
obviously
this to
the
be
Fast and Furious are responsible for multiple deaths of people, but you don't really see it, and they always leave. They kill all the henchmen and then leave the bad guy just to be like, "All right, I'm gonna teach you a lesson. You killed 30 of my men, yeah, but I'm gonna
teach you a lesson.
I'm not gonna go down to your level."
I've already killed everybody else that works for you, but I'm not going to your level. No, I want all the deaths to be off screen. Or at least, like, you could plausibly say maybe they just knocked him out, but, they really killed him. Like, I don't want...
you knock someone out, I'm pretty sure that is brain damage at the least,
Yeah, I don't want, like, gratuitous violence.
Okay.
Like, if they kill themselves, then it's more like, oh, it's kind of their fault type thing. Like, this person. Who do we want this to be? Corrupt official or gang leader?
Corrupt official.
And we got to have the little brother, maybe he's running jobs for him on the side or something like that. He's getting in too deep. He doesn't know what he's doing.
I could see that. Because I'm thinking like a magistrate who, if this is the first colony, is entitled to be like, whatever. And all the money that's going into this place is just going straight to him and not to the people. And he's got dirt or something on everybody. And he just,
Yep.
And he could be like setting them up. He could like invite you to dinner, and then he drugs you and puts you in a room with some
blackmail,
some scandalous people, and then takes pictures of you. And now he's like, "I got blackmail on you, so what would you like to do?"
Okay, two things. I think I found the one thing that I want to do. Whatever the piece that he's looking for is a compass-like thing. But it's not like for north-south or east-west or anything like that. It's for something specific, like a particle or a certain star system or something like that. So he's looking for a way to get somewhere that he wants to go. That's what this thing is. Okay, very rare. And then maybe we find out it's not calibrated. So then the next movie they got to calibrate it or something like that. Or maybe that just turns.
And I think the ship that they end up with is the magistrate ship at the end of the movie.
I was thinking either it's the magistrate ship that the new town council or something gives them, like, hey.
I was thinking that they run off escape type thing or steal it and then use it against the magistrate, and like.
Yeah, but like I don't know. But if you kind of want to have like the celebration scene at the end of these movies, like how the Fast and Furious franchise always has the picnic table. Like the celebration is more like, hey, the townspeople or whoever it is that the Ronin and his team helped are like, yeah, blah, blah, blah.
I agree, but I don't want to be a Disney movie where there's applause and clapping at the end of the movie. Like, yeah, the good guys did it. As my dad does that, he ruins every fucking Disney movie. He goes, it's just going to end with applause and clapping. And then you just
okay, that's what the fucking Fast and the Furious ends with, the picnic table.
Yeah, but it's not gratuitous applause, which the town scene would be.
We don't have to have like a huge town scene. Maybe it's more like the town councilors, like the actual feds are coming. I know what you did. Take that. I'm going to turn my back, take that and get out of here. You know what I mean?
We'll say that he just ran off.
We'll say that he just ran off. Oh, shit. Yeah. All right. Leave.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So we got to come up with a name.
But also we have to come up with a story. Like, is there an event that takes place? Is it like why is there? What is the apex of this story? Like, yes, he gets to town. He just figures out this guy is being corrupt and everything. The kids gets in trouble eventually. But what is it? Like, I don't mind like a race, and it doesn't have to be pod racing, but it could be some type of thing. And then you realize it's rigged, or you're in for a lot of money, or we could go back to like War Dome, where it's just like this kid is somehow, you know, been duped into taking a loan from this guy or something.
I got you. That's fine.
Like, what's the event that's happening in this movie?
Maybe it's some sort of like tag team fight or something where this guy gets paired with the kid, clearly a detriment to him. Because maybe that's their thing. Like, whoever gets in too much debt now is thrown into the games. So they take the kid for the games. But this kid is going to die in the game. Like, look at him. Like, he's going to fall to all these, like, gladiator-type warriors. This Ronin-type character, to save him, enters with him. You realize it's rigged. I don't really want to do a car chase scene because I want the car chase scene
to just
afterwards.
call him Ronin?
We can call him Ronin. That's fine. At least for now. His name is Ronin.
Yeah,
for now.
I think, I don't know. I think it sounds futuristic. I don't think we ever, have to mention that it's like, oh, you're just like a Ronin from those old...
Yeah, we never talk about it in the movies.
But at that point, it's like 10,000-year-old Japanese stories. Like,
exactly. His name is Ronin. I don't really want the whole thing to be a race, because I want that to be something that happens after the event. Like, they win the event somehow, and then the magistrate runs like a little bitch, and then they chase him, and it's a cool fucking action scene, you know what I mean? Like, going through the spaceport and everything like that.
So why would he sacrifice or potential, like injury or death for this guy who's the little brother of an innkeeper that he is flirtatious with?
Well, I think
what's his incentive?
The reason he does this is throughout the movie, like you said, he comes to care about these people. And then it's that lingering thing in his head. Help who you can when you can. He can help this kid. And he either chooses to be a person who can live by that, or he chooses to take the compass thing from the guy and actually just leave.
Yeah, so there has to be a chance for him to leave, like another bus coming. He's got that compass and he's ready to go.
And then that, whatever it is, we get like either a flashback, like really, really subtle. We don't see who the person is saying it, but we hear that phrase that he said to himself before throughout the movie. And then he's like, fuck, pockets it, goes back, enters the tournament with the kid, or like the kid's in the ring. And he's like, oh shit, what's going to happen? And then you see
it
him
could be
coming
on
up from
a ring
him.
or something too. And he just reads it off a ring.
Yeah.
And then we could figure out that ring was not originally his, but like his master's or something.
Masters, sisters, mothers, brothers, something like that.
You're obsessed with this like missing sister. You brought it up
because I hate the whole. If we're gonna trope, that's fine, but the whole trope is always master, or I'm going after the person who killed this person. Like, that's in almost every movie. Like, I want him to have some sort of hope that he's going after something. I don't want it to be super dark right off the bat.
Yeah, but
I know that's weird coming from me.
I want him to find her, and then for her to be like, fuck you.
Yeah.
You didn't find me.
That's in 5.
He's like, I've been looking for you. He's like, I don't care. You left me, like, and then.
Yeah, that's in.
Get over it.
That's in
family,
5. That's in the 5th movie.
Okay. So we need some names other than Ronin. And these names are going to last for a franchise, except for the brother. He dies.
Well, he dies in 3, so.
Yeah, but
his name is Jesse, because Jesse dies in the Fast and Furious, but he gets 2 extra movies. We need, like, this is the main love interest character. We got to come up with a good name for her.
Yeah, I mean, are we really stealing Jesse? Is that not like just thievery? Like,
fine. How about
make it a little different? Jax, because it's futuristic. Also in the future,
instead of Jesse, it's Jeffrey. That's a little different.
How is that futuristic? Where are the Z's and the X's?
Why does everybody have Xander? His name is Xander.
All right. You're right. Is that with a Z or an X?
It's with an X.
All right. Xander, Ronan, and
We got to have a long name, but then everybody calls her a short version of it. Obviously. And it has to have 3 Z's in it. So figure out something like that. Chrysanthemum
Xenon.
or something like that. No, we're not doing Xenon.
Girl of the 21st century.
Luna, Aurora, Astra.
I like Aurora.
What's the short version? Well, maybe it doesn't have to be like a short for Aurora. Maybe it's just
it could be
something that
Rory.
she does. Aurora and Rory, fine.
Yeah. All right, we figured it out, Zach. What is the female's name?
The female main love interest, unless she dies, leaving ourselves open for that, is Aurora, but everybody calls her Rory.
So Ronan, Aurora, and Xander are our 3 protagonists so far, and our antagonist is named Magistrate
Han.
We can't steal all the names from Fast and Furious.
I haven't met Han yet, so I don't know.
He's a great character.
How about this? Fine. We can steal one name from the Fast and Furious because we're never going to see this magistrate again. His name is Leon. You said we never see Leon again.
True.
Oh, you just want to leave it open in case the magistrate comes back in like 6? Or
who knows?
Cyborg maybe
magistrate.
Our Leon will come back as a cyborg. We'll see.
All right. Last name Diamond.
Leon Diamond?
Yeah, just because over my shoulder it says Diamond.
Got it. Okay.
Sometimes I just look around to get...
All right. We need a title.
And we need a franchise.
This is a franchise
title. So this is big. Fast and Furious is big. All right.
I think
that brings us to our title. Took a lot of deliberation that has been cut out of the episode.
So
you are welcome for that. But Zach, what is our movie franchise title?
The Architects of Lore original movie franchise, Cosmic Void.
There we go. So Cosmic Void, obviously the franchise, and the first movie, Cosmic Void. Basically, Ronan comes into town, meets Aurora, a.k.a. Rory, and her little brother Xander, who run an inn. It turns out this town has been under the power of Magistrate Leon Diamond. He is not liking one bit about what's going on, Ronan, and he tries to stop it. But it turns out that the mayor, who's been freely elected, has no power because the magistrate has dirt on everyone. He also has Xander in a chokehold. Our boy Ronan's just there to get a space compass. And when offered the space compass to leave this whole thing behind because he's getting his nose in a little too deep, seeing what was going on, he takes it, turns his back. But he doesn't give his word to Leon Diamond. So he fights and joins Xander in this gladiator-type business. They win. But
even though it's rigged
Leon
against
Diamond
him,
turns his back, burns down the inn, and runs away. They have to chase him, find him, and end up using his own ship to destroy his castle and the blackmail that the magistrate had on everybody. In the end, the mayor, who now has power and no more influence from this magistrate, says, why don't you just skip town and we won't tell anyone what's going on? So the 3, Ronan, Roxy, Aurora, Roxy Power makes a cameo, and then Xander take off with the magistrate's ship to only be seen in the sequel and next 10 films.
There we go. And that's the Architects of Lore original franchise idea, Cosmic Void.
Check it out. Let us know what you think. You can email us at architectsoflore@gmail.com. Please follow us on Instagram at Architects of Lore, X at Arc of Lore. Don't know why I keep doing that because we haven't done anything with X in so long.
I don't even know the login.
I just cut that part out. Follow us on Instagram at Architects of Lore. Please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. And Zach, obviously you know what we're watching next week.
Well,
Or do you?
it's Too Fast, Too Furious.
Well, there's also a 6-minute prelude video.
There is.
That I'm gonna spoil it for you. You don't need to watch it. It's
Okay.
basically Brian runs away from the cops, puts his badge, runs away, street races his way to Miami, ending up with a new car, and he just got the money by street racing his way there.
Cool. Got it. All right. So Too Fast, Too Furious for next week. And remember, folks, next week it's the second movie in the Cosmic Void universe. Because whole season, the Architects of Lore original movie franchise, Cosmic Void, we're going to get to 11 movies. Maybe 12. Maybe 13. I don't know.
Who knows?
Who knows? Maybe the main character will die. Maybe everybody that you loved in this movie will be dead by 6. I don't know. But we'll get there together. And Devin, thank you so much for joining me. Audience, thank you for listening. You're probably going to get like an hour and 5-minute show. Just know that this took much longer than that. And I hope you have a great week. And just remember that if you have a story in your head, but you can't seem to get it out,
do it.
Just do it. Because if it sucks, who cares? That's what editing's for in 10 more minutes. Good night, everybody.
Bye.